and so is the darts. The World Championship gets underway 2 weeks on Sunday, but it kind of all starts right here this afternoon with the draw for what should be a magical few weeks. I've got a couple of helpers alongside me. You're charged of making sure it will run smoothly, by the way.
Oh, no.
Yes, oh, no. Wayne Mardle and Mark Webster. Wayne, this is always for us one of the most exciting days of the year, but with how the World Championship ended up last year, it feels like it's more exciting than ever, maybe more eagerly anticipated than ever.
I think it is. I think the world of darts has changed with the Littler factor. It's definitely a thing. But remember when these draws used to be just a couple of us, a bit of direction. Now this is like a show. They
can't see it behind the screen, by the way.
Huge. It's gigantic. What an event. But this is the start of the World Championships. And it feels massively important. More important than last year, more important than the year before. It's life-changing. The whole event is life-changing. Whether you win it or, like Luke Littler, you become runner-up. Look at what's happened.
Yeah.
It's gigantic.
He did all right with that, didn't he?
He did
all
run
right.
with it.
Yes. Who are the names? I mean, you mentioned the likes of Littler, Luke Humphries as well, who is, of course, the defending champion. Who are the names that you're going to be looking out for?
Yeah, I've touched on the two Lukes. The two Michaels for me are due a big tournament. Obviously, Michael van Gerwen's form has been a bit indifferent coming into it. But Michael Smith, for me, obviously not defending the title, but defending £500,000 in prize money. He needs a massive run here just to maintain his ranking in the top 16. But this is what the World Championship's about. It tests players in all different aspects of the ranking. And I'm looking forward to it getting going.
Yeah, well, we all are. Not long to go until it all gets started. Before these two do the honours, here's something to get you a little bit excited.
Welcome to the promised land, Alexandra Palace, and the biggest tournament in the world.
He has got the darting world at his feet.
Fighting it out for the biggest title in the sport.
Right, I know we keep telling you on Sky Sports News when it all starts, but if you didn't know, make a little note of this. December the 15th, that is night one. Play gets started around 7:15, but the build-up gets underway at 6:30. That is live for you on Sky Sports Darts. Right, let's just give you a quick reminder before we get into it of how this draw works. It's a little bit confusing, but just kind of stick with us for a bit, OK? We've got 96 players, 32 of those are seeded. They are basically the top 32 players in the world. They go straight through to the second round. So we are doing the draw for the first round, but also the draw to see who our seeds are going to face in the second round. It sounds very confusing. Stay with us, OK? It will make sense. You're going to make it make sense, aren't you? I'm going to look after the seeds. You are pulling the balls for the Pro Tour qualifiers, and you've got the other international qualifiers. OK, cool. Shall we get it all started?
Please.
Yes, let's get it underway. We are starting with the top half of the draw, top quarter. So the only place to start is with the top seed, Luke Humphries, the world number one, the world champ. He will face either...
Sorry about the noise.
It's all right.
It's a necessary evil. Right. Number 20.
Number 20 is Thibaut Tricol, who last year became the first Frenchman to feature at the World Darts Championship. Or...
45.
Number 45, Joe Comito, who makes his debut at the tournament. Next up, we have Raymond van Barneveld, the 5-time world champ. He'll face either...
Number 29.
Number 29, Nick Kenny, who makes his first appearance at the PDC World Championship in 3 years. Or...
43.
43, Stowe Bunce, who made his Ali Pali debut last year. Next up, we have 4-time semi-finalist at the Worlds, James Wade.
Number 3.
He will face either Jermaine Wattimena, who was runner-up at the recent European Championship, or...
36.
Number 36, Stefan Belmont, the first Swiss player to compete at the PDC World Championship. Next up, someone who is down in 17 in the world at the moment, the 2-time world champ, Peter Wright. He will face either...
Number 11.
Number 11, Wesley Plaisier, who has won a ranking title this year, or...
42.
Number 42, Ryusei Asamoto, who qualified through the Asian Tour. He makes his Ali Pali debut. Next up, also in the top quarter, Masters champ, Stephen Bunting. He will face either...
Number 8.
Number 8, Alan Suter, who didn't qualify last year, makes his World Championship return this year. Or
37.
number 37, Kai Goddard, the man from Germany, who makes his World's debut. Next up, we have Dirk van Dijvenbode, who was quarter-finalist a few years ago at the Worlds.
I'm thankful for this line under here. Number 9.
Let's get it right. Madars Razma from Latvia. Or
35.
number 35, Christian Kiss, the former Lakeside champ, you might remember, was beaten by Luke Littler in the opening round last year. Next up, Australia's number 1, Damon Heta. He will face either
Number 21.
number 21, Connor Scott, who topped the Challenge Tour Order of Merit this year, or
54.
number 54, Ben Robb, the man from New Zealand. Also in this top quarter, we have Mike De Decker, a prize winner of the World Grand Prix last month. He will face either
Number 5.
number 5, Luke Woodhouse, semi-finalist at the European Championship last month, or
48.
48, Lawrence Ilagan. If you don't watch darts regularly, by the way, that is one of Wayne's favourite players. Okay, you know. Right, make this good, guys. Second quarter, the world number 4, Luke Littler. He will face either
Number 27.
number 27, Ryan Meikle, who beat Gary Anderson the other night at the Players' Championship finals, or
Number 56.
number 56, Fallon Sherrock, the only woman to ever win a match on the Ali Pali stage. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, next up, Richie Edhouse, the European champion.
Number 23.
Number 23, Ian White, a former quarter-finalist at the Worlds, or
Number 55.
number 55, Sandro Erik Sosing, qualified through the Asian Championship. Danny Noppert, former UK Open champion. Who's he going to face?
Number 6.
Could be number 6, Ryan Joyce, who was a semi-finalist at the World Grand Prix this year, or
39.
39, Darius Lavanauskas, who hit a 9-darter at the Worlds a few years ago. Ryan Searle has picked up a title on the Pro Tour this year. He will face either
Number 22.
number 22, Mensur Suljovic, World Cup runner-up this year for Austria, or
64.
64, a man who came through the qualifiers today, Matt Campbell, who beat Mervyn King to book his spot at the World Championship. Next up, the 2018 World Champ, Voltage, Rob Cross.
Number 15.
He will face either Scott Williams. Wow, that could be a tie, couldn't it? Surprise semi-finalist last year, of course, beat Michael van Gerwen in the quarterfinals. Or
Number 40.
number 40, Nico Springer, who makes his debut after a number of titles on the development tour this year. Next up, Jan van Veen, the 22-year-old who's been playing some lovely stuff this year.
Hasn't he just? Number 4.
Ricardo Pietreczko, who you might remember lost in a deciding set in the third round to Luke Humphreys last year. So it could be Pietreczko or
Number 60.
number 60, Zhao Chenzong, the man from China, who is making his 4th appearance at Ali Pali. Next up, the number 12 seed, World Match Play champ last year, Nathan Aspinall.
Oh.
He will face either
Number 1.
number 1, Cameron Menzies, who's been playing some of his best darts, and he's very entertaining to watch, or
Number 46.
number 46, Leonard Gates, who, well, he's also an entertainer, if you've never watched him play. And making up the top half of the draw, Andrew Gilding, the former UK Open champ. He will face either
Number 12.
number 12, Martin Lukeman, runner-up at the Grand Slam just over a week ago, or
49.
49, Nitin Kumar, who came through the Indian qualifier. Now we move to the bottom half of the draw, third quarter, world number 2, world champ, of course, a couple of years ago, Michael Smith. He will face either
Number 13.
Kevin Doots. So a repeat, obviously. Kevin Doots won the opening match of the World Championship last year, then lost to Michael Smith later on that night, or
59.
59, Noah Lynn van Leuven, who has qualified through the women's series. Next up, we have the Pole, Christoph Ratajski, former quarter-finalist at Alexandra Palace. He will face either
Number 14.
number 14, Richard Veenstra, another one of the Dutch contingent, former Lakeside semi-finalist, or
58.
58, Alexis Toilo, who makes his Ali Pali debut. Next up, Chris Dobie, former quarter-finalist. He will face either
Number 19.
number 19, Stephen Burton, who made his debut at the Worlds back in 2019. This is the first time he has qualified since then. Or
Number 41.
Number 41, Alexander Merckx, another Dutchman. He is making his debut at this year's World Championship. Josh Rock, who has had a great season, really, away from the big TV stages. He will face either...
Number 18.
Number 18, Karel Sedlacek, who didn't qualify last year. So he's back at the Palace. Or...
Number 61.
Number 61, Rhys Griffin, who came through a qualifier just today. Johnny Clayton, the Welsh number 1 these days, former Premier League champ. He will face either...
Number 31.
Number 31, Mickey Mansell, who was a surprise semi-finalist at the recent Grand Slam. Or...
Number 47.
Number 47, Tomoya Goto, who won the Japan Tour finals. Next up, we have a former World Grand Prix winner, Daryl Gurney. He will face either...
Number 26.
Number 26, Florian Hempel, the man from Germany. Or...
Number 62.
Number 62, another one who came through the qualifiers today in Jeffrey Desvan. Next up, the 2021 world champ, who is looking to put a bit of a poor run of form behind him, Gerwyn Price. He will face either...
Number 16.
Number 16, Kim Huybrechts, former quarter-finalist at Ali Pali. Or...
Number 34.
Number 34, Keane Barry, who has qualified for his 6th World Championship through the Development Tour. Joe Cullen, who you might remember as well, lost in an absolute epic with Luke Humphries in the last 16 last year, went to sudden death, that one. He will face either...
Number 2.
Number 2, Wessel Nijman. Made his debut last year, went out in the first round, but wow, has he been playing some good stuff recently. Or...
44.
44, Cameron Carolison, the man from South Africa who came through the African qualifier. Now into the 4th quarter of the draw, world number 3, Michael van Gerwen, the 3-time world champ. He will face either...
Number 30.
James Hurrell, who won his tour card at the beginning of the year, makes his Ali Pali debut. Or...
Number 51.
Number 51, Jim Long, one of 2 Canadians in the draw. Next up, we have Brendan Dolan, who knocked Gerwyn Price and Gary Anderson out last year before being stopped by Luke Littler. He faces either...
Number 28.
Number 28, Chris Landman from the Netherlands, the former Lakeside runner-up. Or...
Number 50.
Number 50, Lok Yin Lee, who makes his World Championship debut. Next up, Gary Anderson, who's been playing some beautiful stuff, the 2-time world champ. Who's he got?
Number 24.
Either number 24, Jeffrey de Graaf, who made the 3rd round last year, or...
Number 57.
Number 57, Rashad Sweeting, the first player from the Bahamas to ever feature at the World Darts Championship. Next up, we have the former European champion, Ross Smith. He faces either...
Number 25.
Number 25, Jim Williams, the former Lakeside runner-up, or...
Number 53.
Number 53, Paolo Nebrida, who is in the hat, having finished 3rd on the Asian Tour Order of Merit. Next up, one of Wayne's favourite players, Dave Chisnell, who's won a number of titles this year on the Pro Tour and on the Euro Tour. Who's he going to face?
Number 32.
Could be number 32, Ricky Evans. Ooh, semi-finalist at the UK Open earlier this year. Or...
Number 52.
Number 52, Gordon Mathers, the Australian's first appearance at the Worlds in a couple of years. 3 more names, 3 more ties still to come. Gabriel Clemens had a brilliant run to the semi-finals a couple of years ago, of course. He will face either...
Number 7.
Number 7, Niels Zonneveld, 26-year-old Dutchman. Or...
Number 33.
33, Robert Owen, the Welshman, who is making just a 2nd appearance at Ali Pali. Dimitri Van den Berg, the UK Open champ earlier this year. He will face either...
Number 17.
Number 17, Willie O'Connor, the Irishman, who went out in the 2nd round last year. Or...
Number 63.
Number 63, one of today's qualifiers, Dylan Slevin. OK, last tie, Martin Schindler, the German number 1. He will face either...
Number 10.
Number 10, Callan Ridds, who made the quarter-finals back in 2022, or...
Number 38.
Number 38, Romeo Gerbovac. OK, you can relax, because all the balls have come out, you know, it's all right, OK? So some brilliant draws there. I think we all kind of gasped with who Luke Littler could potentially face.
It's weird. You look at the seedings and you're thinking that, obviously before the draw, it's that who one can play. So Luke Humphries could play Raymond van Barneveld in the next game.
Yep.
But there's so 5-time world champ taking on the world champ. but there's loads of darts to be played. But you just know that there's going to be upsets. There's been upsets all year. Why would it stop now? It doesn't make sense. There's so many top players that are not playing at the top of their game, and there's so many what you would call outsiders playing way above their seeding. So, yeah, exciting this.
Yeah, this is the top quarter then, and I mean, you mentioned potentially Humphries meeting Raymond van Barneveld at some point, but Mark, just a word on Luke Humphries' potential second-round tie, whether it is Thibaut Tricol or Joe Comito.
Yeah, it's a tie you'd expect Luke to win. Obviously, for Thibaut and Joe, they know they're going to be on first, so they open up the show and they've got to get ready to face Luke. But for Luke Humphries, he's in a good space at the minute. I don't think he'd be overly concerned about the draw.
Yeah. Let's show you the second quarter of the draw. This is the quarter that has got Luke Littler in it. We were talking about it a minute ago. Ryan Meikle played some good stuff over the weekend, beat Gary Anderson. Or Fallon Sherrock. Whoever it is, that's going to be a spicy one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be spicy, but I'd look down at Rob Cross as well, who could take on Scott Williams, and they're practice partners. They kind of live in each other's pockets. They travel together. And then you look at Gian Van Veen, who to me could go a long way in this event as well, taking on possibly Ricardo Pietrezco.
Yeah, let's show you the third quarter then. This is the quarter that has Michael Smith in it, former world champ, who's had some early exits at recent majors, Mark, but he'll be wanting to put things right at the biggest tournament of the lot.
Yeah, and you pointed out it's a potential rematch with Kevin Dukes, and we know how close Kevin pushed him last year. But for Michael, I think he needs a challenge from the off. He needs a big tournament. He can hit the ground running, obviously get him in price in that section as well. Joe Cullen potentially playing Wessel Nyman, not the draw that the players wanted, but maybe what Joe needs. But it's wide open in that section.
And let's just show you then the last quarter and how that looks. This is the quarter that has got Michael van Gerwen in it. I spoke to him a little bit earlier. He said by his own kind of standards, own admission, the last couple of months haven't been good enough. For him, he'll look at that and say, this is an all right tie, whoever I get here.
Yeah, and that's no offence to Jim Long or James Hurrell. Michael's the third seed, so anyone he plays is not going to be as good as him, you think. And he does come alive at the World Championships. He didn't go into this year's, if you will, playing that well, but looked a potential winner until he come unstuck in the quarterfinals. But there are difficult games everywhere, and I just look at the Gary Anderson,
I was going to say it.
possibly Jeffrey de Graaf, and there was an amazing game they had in the World Match Play a few years ago. There was an absolute perler, and look, Gary Anderson for me, he's probably favourite to come through that section of the draw.
Is the bottom half where the opportunity is?
I'm thinking, yeah, because obviously they're looking at Michael van Gerwen and Michael Smith are in that bottom half, not playing the best, but I expect the best to come from them too. It's going to be fascinating, that bottom half. It's going to be a fascinating tournament, particularly there's an opportunity in that bottom half.
We've had a lot of surprise winners this year, haven't we? And we talked at the Grand Slam how bar the two Lukes, the kind of top players in the world maybe haven't been performing, and you've had some of the lower ranks, arguably performing better.
Yes.
Do we see, the biggest tournament in the year following suit?
No.
No, I
just
thought you were
don't.
going to say that, yeah.
Mark and I spoke about this. It's a weird one, the Worlds. It's mentally just draining, physically draining as well. And it just means so much. And what you find that happens is the very best players in the world find a way to relax. And like what Mark said about Michael van Gerwen, maybe Michael Smith, finding a bit of form at the Worlds. If it's going to happen anywhere, I expect it to be at the World Championship. But there's going to be upsets, but for an outsider, I'm just saying, like a Martin Lukeman coming all the way through to the final, maybe even a Richie Edhouse, I don't see it again. I just don't see it again. I think normal service will be resumed.
Okay.
I just do.
Okay.
I just do.
His predictions have been right all year.
And I'm always right.
Thank you both. Your work here is done. Pick the balls brilliantly. Another reminder for you, just in case you forgot already, day one starts 2 weeks on Sunday, 6:30. For all the build-up live on Sky Sports Darts. Yeah, not long to go. So make sure you come and join us, because if last year taught us anything, it's that you absolutely will not want to miss a thing. We'll see you on the 15th.
Please tell who can say it.
Well done, guys.